What up? It's your boy, Luke for Prez, back in the mix yet again with another video for you guys. Hope everyone out there is having a stupendous day. So as crazy as this is for me to even say out loud, my beats generated $50,000 in 2020. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how I did it, going over every detail of my sales and marketing process, step by step. None of this money came from any big placements or anything like that, as I still don't have any. This was all done strictly through selling beats online. If you're new to the channel and you're interested in marketing for music producers, please consider liking and subscribing so the YouTube algorithm gods will smile down upon me. I'm not making this video to brag by any stretch of the imagination. There are a ton of producers out there who are way more successful than I am, and I still feel like I have a very long way to go just in terms of the quality of my music, my overall beat business in general, just everything. You know, I'm in no way satisfied with this figure, and I'm still looking at this as just, you know, really the beginning of climbing this mountain. But as always, I want to share as much as I possibly can with you guys in terms of my journey as a producer and be as transparent as possible with you along the way. You know, so hopefully you can glean some knowledge from these videos that you can apply towards your beat business. And that's why I felt it was important to do this breakdown, because that does sound like a kind of a crazy amount. I just feel like that kind of transparency was missing when I first started making beats and trying to sell them online. And it definitely would have helped me out to have somebody kind of, you know, cover their exact journey step by step in this way. So that's basically the main motivation. I want to provide that to, you know, to the people on the come up right now. And with that being said, let's get into this. So first, let me break down exactly what it was I was selling to generate this 50K. I was selling a combination of beat leases, exclusives, and custom beats. The vast majority of the money came from beat leases and exclusives, and the bulk of those transactions happened directly within the BeatStars platform in one form or fashion, because they have a few different ways that you can sell beats, which I'll get into. $38,516.61 came from within the BeatStars platform, to be exact. The other 11,500-ish came from a combination of people paying me outside of BeatStars from either PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, Venmo. I accept all that shit, and I suggest you do as well, because different customers have different preferences. Those off BeatStars transactions included bulk lease deals, exclusives, and also custom beats where I would make a beat for someone from scratch and they would get the exclusive rights at the end of that process. So that's what I sold. Now let's break down exactly how I sold them. It all starts with BeatStars. BeatStars has three main avenues from which you can sell beats. What most of you are probably familiar with is the BeatStars Pro page. This is a website that you can build within the BeatStars platform that you can customize to a degree to match up with your branding, and you can use this website to sell your beats directly to customers. I used the BeatStars Pro page as my primary destination for all my traffic from January until July. In July, I switched over to the second path that BeatStars offers you to sell beats, which is the Blaze Pro Player. This is basically a plugin that you can place within a custom website. I made the switch to a custom WordPress website to give myself more design flexibility and also to raise my website's organic SEO potential. I actually made a video diving into this in a lot more detail that I will link to in the little box thing above me, as well as the description. The third pathway which BeatStars allows you to sell beats on, is their platform itself, the BeatStars marketplace. A lot of BeatStars traffic comes from producers, but there are artists who go on there and use the BeatStars search engine to find and purchase beats. The marketplace resulted in about 5 sales a month for me on average in 2020. I made a video going into great detail as to how you can make your beat posts stand out and give yourself the best chance of being found by artists within the BeatStars marketplace itself. I will link to that as well. So where did all of these sales come from? Who is doing the purchasing? How did they get to my site to begin with? Well, if you've watched any of my videos before, you probably know the answer to this question. Paid digital ads. I don't have a huge social media following to speak of. I can't just post a beat to YouTube and have sales automatically roll in like some of the top guys with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So I had to figure out alternative means of driving traffic in a scalable way. And as it turns out, Google and Facebook ads provided that solution for me. I spent a good chunk of the year experimenting with the various options that both of those platforms allow you to play with and wasted a lot of money in the process. I also experimented with other platforms like Bing ads. I even created a ClickFunnels page that I was driving traffic to for a while. I tried everything that you could possibly think of, just about. I'm still constantly trying to optimize my ads to make them more profitable and experiment with different techniques. But for now, what I have found to be the most successful combination of digital ads is the following. Google search ads for cold traffic coupled with Facebook retargeting ads for warm traffic. Warm traffic meaning people that have already been to your website and are familiar with you to a certain degree. I've made videos going into great detail about these two platforms and how to get things set up on them. I will also link to those above and/or in the description below. In addition to my paid ads, at various times throughout 2020, I also did some manual reach out to artists on platforms like SoundCloud and Instagram. That resulted in mixed success, a handful of sales here and there. It was not a consistent thing, and it's not very scalable as well. It requires a lot of manual labor. You gotta send a bunch of these messages one by one, but there's a ton of producers out there and that's their main thing and they make a ton of money doing it. So, take that with a grain of salt. This is just me. In addition to all that, in 2020, I also worked my way up to posting 5 YouTube videos a week, the vast majority of which are beat videos. And while I can't be certain because BeatStars makes conversion tracking a little bit tricky, my best estimation is that these YouTube videos have brought in a very small handful of sales. How I came to that conclusion is basically how I have everything set up. In terms of my YouTube videos, the purchase link that I use in the description leads people to my BeatStars Pro page. But all other traffic via ads and anything else, I send people to my website. So if I see a sale coming in from the Pro page, I can be reasonably certain that it came from YouTube because that's really the only place that you can find the Pro page. I know that's not an exact science by any stretch, but it's the best that I have at this time. And it gives me basically a rough idea of what's going on in terms of YouTube. In 2020, I also made big strides compiling an email list made up of purchasers, leads that I generated from my ClickFunnels experiment, and also email addresses of people that I've connected with on social media over the years that I've sent beats to at some point. I reach out to this list 1 to 2 times a month, and when I do, it always results in a handful of sales, especially when I run discounts. So all of those things collectively resulted in me making $50,000 from my beats. Again, the vast majority come from those paid digital ads that I mentioned, but I really do think that everything I mentioned played a key part in this, because sometimes it might take someone several instances of seeing you before they actually feel comfortable enough to purchase from you. So someone could have seen my YouTube video and then seen my Facebook ad and then found my Google ad and then finally purchased, or something to that effect. I think it is a good idea to make your digital footprint as big as possible and just give yourself the best chance to be found on the most platforms. I think that's just a common sense approach to this. So I really do credit everything that I've described here as collectively being a part of the end result. You might be wondering how much profit I took from that 50K, and the answer is really zero. Every single extra dollar that I made month over month, I invested back into the business in the form of either more ads, courses for education, books, VSTs, drum kits, hardware equipment. Selling beats online has provided me with a path for self-improvement and the overall betterment of my beat business going forward. At the end of the day, I don't think there's a better use of your money than investing in yourself and in your business. And I plan on continuing this strategy as long as it's feasible for me. So that's the rundown and how I got to 50K in 2020. Obviously, everybody has a different strategy, and what works for me might not work exactly in the same way for you, but I felt that it was important to share this milestone with the community to see if you could maybe glean some information that might be helpful to you on your journey, and maybe you can utilize some of the techniques that have been successful for me in a similar way. That is my hope, and that is all I got. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe if this provided you with any kind of value whatsoever. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.